All right, Mitch. You're number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Let's do it.
A bunch of a-holes.
No.
I am so sorry. I did not know how this machine worked. I had no idea. I learned it from Star-Lord.
Mitch, get your fucking manners straight. Hi, friends. I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are Excellent Little Podcast.
We are presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Mitch, I think we are doing a podcast.
I think we're reviewing the third bunch of a-hole movie.
That we are. And we are reviewing all these a-holes in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Volume 3. Not 1. Not 2. But 3.
There
the
it
third
is.
one in the James Gunn directed Guardians series. Summary: Still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill rallies his team to defend the universe and one of their own. A mission that could mean the end of the Guardians, if not successful. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
SpaghettiOs.
All right, Studios, Marvel Studios, and Disney, which does mean since we are Disney cast members, we do not speak for the brand or the company, and our thoughts and opinions are our own. And the director and the screenplay are brought to us by James Gunn, head of the DC universe now.
Yeah, DC Studios.
All right. Well, don't worry, my friends. So, welcome to Little Movie Podcast. We do have a couple of things that we do go over. So we start with our non-spoiler section where we go over casts, directors, scripts, any little non-spoilery things that we want to get into. Then we move on to our review, which we will then split up, which Mitch will go ahead and gladly do. And then we'll finally get into our spoiler section once we sound our alarm.
Spoilers. You didn't say anything about spoilers.
Not yet, but we will. So, we are getting into it. So, Mitch, this is actually your number 8 most anticipated film of the year. So,
By volume 8 of 2023.
so what are your first thoughts on Guardians 3?
So I enjoyed this film. In my opinion, I would put it in my second best one.
Okay.
But it's a good one. It's not the best, not the worst. Is it return to form for Marvel? We'll see. I will also say I wouldn't really call it a Guardians film, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it still had some good moments. A very emotional Guardians film, which I didn't know I wanted, but I got it, and I really enjoyed it. But Zach, go ahead.
So yeah, it's definitely one of the, I don't want to say darker, but it's not as lighthearted as the Guardians films have kind of been. They kind of kept on getting more serious. The first one was definitely the most lighthearted of the bunch. The second one got into a little bit more serious subject matter, and this one really kind of digs into the more serious subject matter. I thought it was a really decent ride. It's definitely to me one of those movies of Marvel that really does a good job of navigating plot versus comedy. It knows when it needs to have those comedic moments and when it needs to stay true on the drama. So overall, yeah, it was actually a really nice, different, fun ride for Marvel, and I really actually enjoyed it.
Well, it's time to talk about the cast.
Yep, it is time to talk about the cast. Well, let's go ahead and talk with the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is Chris Pratt. Love him or hate him, he is in the movie, so he does still play Peter Quill and Star-Lord. Mitch, what did you think of his third go out for it?
He was fine. I'm not a big Chris Pratt fan. We've talked about this. I feel like out of all 3 of the performances that he's given in this trilogy, this is my least favorite. I really liked his performance in the second one. First one, obviously, he was hilarious, but this one, I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know if he was trying to be like that comedic, dramatic actor that he was trying to do in the first 2, and it just didn't hit for me. Just going out of it, I'm just like, he was just there. I can't really put any more thoughts into words for Chris Pratt on this one. Would I be upset if he didn't come back? No, I wouldn't be upset.
Gotcha.
But Zach, what did you think?
I thought he did all right. I saw what he was trying to go for. He was definitely trying to be a little bit more brooding in terms of, the character's gone through a lot.
Yeah.
Like he's
Just lost Gamora.
He just lost Gamora. He keeps on losing people in his life. So he's going through the shit right now. So, and so I understand where the character's at. I understand where, and I thought Chris Pratt did a decent job at tackling it. It wasn't his best job, but he's also done a lot worse. So I mean,
Jurassic World.
But literally, it could be literally anything. So
Yeah.
I think he actually did a pretty decent job in this. It's nothing to write home about, but I do think that he at least did somewhat of a decent job.
But I really liked Bradley Cooper in this one, the voice of Rocket Raccoon. He was so wonderful in this one, and he always just does well as Rocket. But this one, his line delivery in this film was just so powerful in this one, and you got glimpses of that within the former films. But Rocket is such a beautiful character and a very tragic character when you find out, but Bradley Cooper nailed it in this one.
And it's really hard to do, especially, which I also have to give him props, because he's not on set. It's Sean Gunn that is actually the stand-in for Rocket on these films. So the fact that he can come into the recording booth for a couple days and give a good performance like this is really, truly the high echelon actor that he truly is.
Sure.
And then we have Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. For the High Evolutionary, who's the antagonist. Mitch, are we falling into the normal Marvel formula of this just yet another terrible villain?
Nope.
Or are we? Oh,
nope.
There we go.
Not for me. I really like this villain. He really had a very dastardly way. I don't know why I said dastardly, but he was so nasty.
Yeah.
And I loved how he portrayed this nasty villain who just wanted everything to be perfect. As you notice when Rocket says in the trailer, he wants this perfect society, and he plays this very I keep going back to this nasty individual who wants this perfect place that just isn't going to exist, and will stop at nothing to get it. But what'd you think of him?
So I really enjoyed his performance of the role. I thought he had very good conviction. I thought he really went all out for this, and it shows. He's almost a scene stealer in a couple of his scenes.
Oh yeah.
But one thing that I will say, I really love that it's one of the perfect kind of old time villains of yes, he's evil to be evil, but he has a genuine, understandable goal.
Yes.
Like with Gaston, it's I want to get Belle, and I have really terrible ways of doing it, but I want to get Belle. Okay, I understand that.
And
Scar,
Ursula as well,
he wants to be king, so he does really murky ways of doing it, But for this, he wants the perfect society, and he does really shitty stuff to get to it. And it's really well done. And I really enjoyed his performance for it.
So there's our cast.
That's the cast.
Now we have some non-spoiler things.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that Rocket really has a whole bunch of deep heart, and it's a really hard performance for this one. So
this is not a Guardians film.
It's more so a Rocket Raccoon film.
Well, and I compare it to this is not an Infinity War, but you know how when it came out, everyone's saying this is not Avengers film. This is a Thanos film. This is a Rocket film.
Yeah,
not a Guardians film. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it really kind of delved into a lot for Rocket, and I really, really loved it. James Gunn said that he was really going to steer into it because evidently Rocket is one of his favorite characters in Marvel. Yeah. So, I mean, heck, he got a pet raccoon literally once he started directing the first one. So, he really enjoys the character, and you really got to see the love for this character on the screen.
I think it really hit home for James Gunn, especially since he was fired and now he came back. And one quick thing. This film, I don't think would have been as good without James Gunn in the director's chair.
Completely.
Yeah, I had to do that quickly, Zach.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about the music. You go ahead on this one.
So, I mean, especially after Volume 1's amazing soundtrack, it's really hard to continue to go up from there. Volume 2 was a little lower, in my opinion. But this one, it really didn't do a good job of helping with the music. The music, every single time it really came in, with the exception of the very first scene. The first scene, they used it really, really well.
Yeah.
But after that, it just kept on feeling like they were kind of shoving it down our throats each time.
I didn't like it.
And they just didn't do a good job with it.
Yeah, I'm not even going to waste time. I didn't like it at all. It was forgettable. There weren't any really good tunes,
The only time the crowd really lit up was at the final song, and that was it.
Yeah. And by the way, our theater was full.
It was a decent crowd. It wasn't like the most lively crowd that we've had.
We thought it was going to be.
We thought it was going to be, but it wasn't as lively as we thought. But it was still a Marvel crowd.
It was, yeah. All right. One last thing.
Yeah. And it's kind of the big elephant in the room.
We're going to talk about it later on in the summer, but
It's James Gunn's last foray into Marvel, and it's a good way to kind of gauge how is DC going to be running, since he's now the creative head of DC's movie division now.
And now he's directing the new Superman.
So Mitch, based off of his script and direction of this movie, do you think he has the chops going in to build and foundation a full cinematic universe?
Absolutely, he does. And you saw it, and it's not just this film. You saw it in the Suicide Squad. You saw it in the Peacemaker show.
Yeah,
he knows his shit. I also think I can't think of anybody better to direct the new Superman after watching this film, because now he's starting to steer into not just the group aspect of these films. Now he's going to tackle some solo pictures.
Yeah.
And he proved that in kind of making this a Rocket film.
Gotcha.
So if he puts as much heart and soul into this Rocket film, into the Superman, and into the DCU, I could see DC overtaking Marvel.
It's possible.
I could see it. Will it happen? Not right away.
Well, and I also think that James Gunn is the right man for the job, and it's solely because of his work with Marvel.
I agree.
That's the reason why David Zaslav went after him, is because of his work with Marvel. He's a wonderful collaborator. He has really great vision. He has his own unique style, and the DC universe, honestly, I think will be better for it, having his just creative style being the overarching style.
And to tide you all over until the summer, because we're going to talk about it when like The Flash and Blue Beetle comes out.
Yep.
Let's think about this for a second, and then we'll go to our review.
Yep.
James Gunn and Kevin Feige have a very good relationship. Warner Brothers and Disney don't hate each other. I could see a Marvel DC crossover.
And Kevin Feige has flat out said, yeah, there have been talks.
I could see it.
There have been talks. Now, will it happen within 2-3 years?
No.
Hell no.
No.
We're probably looking at that being like 5, 10, 15 years down the line.
I would agree.
It's way out. And that's because James also knows he's got to set this whole universe up.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but let's go ahead and not get ahead of ourselves and focus on Guardians 3.
But let us know what you think.
So, Mitch, since this is your number 8, would you be okay with breaking down our reviews and saying what you think it is?
All right, so we have 3 categories and 2 phantom categories, because me and Zach, we don't like the number system. You hate the number system.
I hate the number system.
I also hate the number system.
I hate grades. I hate school.
I hate them too. They're so lame. I hate school too. Don't go to school, kid. No, go to school.
Go to school. Maybe do your homework, but go to school and get B's and C's.
C's get degrees.
They do.
Anyway, we have 3 categories. Our lowest one is we feed it to the dog, meaning we didn't enjoy it. We still think you should see it, form your own opinion. And then we have needs to cook a little more, meaning it needs a script change, a director change, an actor change, and anything change. Anything to get to that next category, which is eat it up, meaning we enjoyed it. We definitely think you need to see it in theaters, but if you can't, as soon as it's on streaming, watch it. Or if you want to get the Blu-ray and splurge all that cash, go right ahead.
Do it.
All right. Without further ado,
Mitch, what is your number 8 review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
I ate this up.
There you go.
Yeah. I think if this was a Guardians film, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much.
Okay.
Because, Guardians to me, it's hard, especially with all these different personalities and things. But the fact that they centered it on Rocket made me really like this film.
Sure, absolutely.
But what'd you think?
Yeah, I ate this up too. I think that this was a really wonderful film. The direction was great. The script was great. Overall, even the cast members that we didn't go into, all their performances were pretty great.
Yeah.
Solid villain finally again.
Yeah.
So it all came together, and I'm really happy that Marvel was able to rally a little bit for this one. We'll see if they can continue this hot stretch, but we'll see. All right. All right, my friends. So that's our review. If you don't want to stick around for spoilers, just make sure, please give us a like or a comment.
Subscribe.
Say if you like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, what is your favorite song that Guardians has done and added?
And also let us know what you think of James Gunn's return into this Marvel franchise and what you think of his direction going forward.
And what his future holds. But
what our future holds.
But let's go ahead and sound that alarm. Bow, bow, now, bow, bow, now, bow, now, now. Hey, what's But we are now into our spoiler section, my friends.
We have the first Marvel F-bomb.
Mitch, let's get this fucking review going. Come on, let's go. All right.
How it goes is they're trying. You see it in a teaser, and Nebula's trying to open the door. She can't do it. Finally, Quill tells her how to do it, and then she's like, "Now what? Open the fucking door!" I think it's just Disney saying like, "Hey, we can use an F-bomb every once in a while, and to prepare us for Deadpool 2, Deadpool 3 next year, or whatever the title it's going to be."
But Mitch, we have to protect the children.
What children?
The children of the movie that we just saved. I don't know, but it's
look, y'all.
But
we saw this movie at midnight. We didn't get home till 3:30. We're tired.
We're tired. So we did get the first F-bomb, but one thing that I think a lot of people did predict is that Rocket does die. But for 5 seconds.
But it was a very beautiful scene.
It was a really good scene.
Yeah.
But the Marvel curse did come back and he was resurrected. Which to be honest, I'm okay with.
I am too.
I think especially since he does go on to lead the Guardians after this. So I think he's a really good leader for
I think he's
this.
a good choice, yeah.
Which, speaking of the new group, we have a new set of Guardians because the old Guardians split up.
Yeah, because Quill goes to be with his grandpa in Missouri.
He goes back to Terra. Gamora goes back with the Ravengers. We almost said Dave Bautista, but yes, Dave Bautista. But
Nebula and Drax stay on Nowhere.
And then we have Rocket and Groot go off to help with the new set of Guardians.
And Mantis goes somewhere.
Yeah, she's going off on her own path, which is good for her.
Yeah, Nebula and Drax need to stay on Nowhere because after the High Evolutionary did his deal, they stopped him and saw his ugly face and all that. That was creepy. Yeah, that was weird. Right?
That was like some Dark Knight Two-Face
it was
stuff.
Bad.
It was good.
But they need to stay on Nowhere to help take care of the children and all the other species that Rocket and everybody saved. But anyway, now the new group.
Yeah,
Rocket, Groot, Which he also says, not just I am Groot.
He finally says, I love you.
guys.
I was like, oh, that was good.
Good job, Vin Diesel.
right.
You said more than one line. So those two,
We have Adam Warlock, which he was very underused in this one.
Yeah.
Not only do I think it was an underuse of an actor's talents,
Yeah.
it also was an underuse of the character.
Yeah.
Especially since we were building up, it's Adam Warlock, Adam Warlock's coming, Adam Warlock's coming, and then he was just a Postmates.
yeah, and
dude.
Will Poulter, he had I don't know if he had fun with this.
I think he did, but
I feel like he was a little because I haven't seen him do anything in any press for this.
No,
seen
I
him
haven't
at all.
anything.
So, unless he's busy, but I have a feeling he's not happy with what he did.
yeah.
I'm hoping they like fix.
Well, he's in the new Guardians, so
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to see him a little bit more, which is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
We then also have Cosmo, which
Yeah.
I'm so freaking excited. I was so happy to see Cosmo.
because she's a bad dog.
Don't you dare.
And also you see Yondu for a second.
You see Yondu because, what's a James Gunn film without our
Michael Rooker.
Without Michael Rooker.
because what's his name? The one that took over his the Ravager that took over his
Craven.
Craven.
Not Craven.
Kraglin.
There we go.
Kraglin's on the team. now,
Kraglin's
too.
on the team too. But yeah, that's our new roster, which I think it's a good roster.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
I like that also we continually get a new design of Groot because he's always never been consistent in the comics
No.
because he constantly regrows. So it's nice to see a new version of Groot coming again as well. But
And then also we get the little Marvel thing.
of Star-Lord will return.
Which
now again,
what does that even mean?
the mantle of Star-Lord has not been just for Peter Quill. So it could be a new Star-Lord.
Yeah.
But we'll see whether or not it is actually Peter Quill or not in the future. Based on the post-credit scene, it probably will be Quill because they do focus on him
As he's eating cereal.
But if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say it's probably like about 70-30. 70% it's going to be Quill again. 30% is going to be a new Star-Lord.
I'm going to say 65-35.
Gotcha.
I feel like if he does come back, I'd be like, okay, whatever, he's back. But if it was somebody new, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
But we all know that the majority of the Guardians, they're going to be gone for a while.
Dave Bautista said that he's done. Zoe Saldana has said that she is done. We are not surprised, but we genuinely thank you for your
Yes.
for your
Marvel
time.
service?
Yeah, for your Marvel service, but for your time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
10 years.
Each of you have made your stamp on this
Yes.
universe. So it's not like you were forgettable or anything. You did your due diligence and you did it. So
Yeah.
thank you, my friends.
Thank you.
But thank you, my friends, for joining us for our review of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, let us know what you thought of the movie. What direction do you want to see the Guardians go? Would you like to see Star-Lord come back, or Adam Warlock, or whoever the hell these a-holes? Who do you want to see?
Yeah, but until our next one, my friends, I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are Excellent Little Podcasts.